Dear viewers, wherever you are, hello and welcome to this new episode of your program, Out of the Box. The hero in history model is a concept in history that focuses on the impact of influential individuals, or heroes, in shaping historical events. It emphasizes the role of great leaders, thinkers, and other prominent figures in driving change and in influencing the course of history. This model is often contrasted with approaches that emphasize broader social, economic, or environmental factors in historical developments. So why is this historic need for a hero, for a deliverer, for a redeemer? To shed more light on this, I'm really delighted to be accompanied by dear guest, the thinker and writer Imad Barsoum. Imad, hello and welcome to the program time again.
Hello, Muhammad, and thank you so much again and again. Always, it's a pleasure to be with you and with your distinguished audience and followers.
Likewise, absolutely, Imad. So, to start off at the very beginning, why is there continuous need for a hero? We've seen this since the dawn of history until today. People are always looking out for, looking up to a hero. Why?
Well, I believe that the need for the hero or the appearance of a hero is way before even the dawn of civilization that as we know it, because we knew it only, it came to our knowledge when it started to be written and documented. But I do still believe that humanity, mankind needed the hero even before, way before they started to write down their stories. And of course, the oldest civilizations we heard about that had heroes were the Ugarit. They had then Gilgamesh, also the Ahura Mazda in Persian. All these, Egypt, of course, had lots of heroes, like Horus, for example, because Horus was a hero as well. And the heroes usually are defined by being demigods in most of the cases, not full gods, because they want to make them close to human beings. Some of them are product of the gods of Olympia, and that's what gives them even more significance because because any human being cannot be a hero. It has to be a demigod. So he has the powers of a god, also combined with the human nature of us to make it more close to the humanity or the human thinking. So yes, the hero started even before the dawn of conscience, but we knew it only when we started to see it written on scriptures and ancient archaeologist foundings. And the hero itself is a good idea for everyone. It
Mhm.
sounds like a bedtime story for a child. And as Freud said, that humanity in its dawn of the dawn of humanity, we were like children. We needed father or mother to protect us. So that same thing, we needed a hero to take care of us. And by the development of societies and the science and the evolution of science and knowledge and philosophy, there was less dependence on the idea of a hero that came to us as we see it now. Although we will discuss maybe later that still the idea of the hero exists among us, but in different forms, because it is a kind of remedy for the weakness in the human being.
Okay, now if we talk about, you said that, like humans needed a form of appeasement or so the hero was this form of a pacifier that would, help people calm down, accept their pain, like a baby. You'd give a pacifier to a baby, a soother to a baby, and appease the baby with this hero. So if we talk about some prominent heroes in history, and they're actually countless, but if we talk about people like Gilgamesh, Achilles, Hercules, etc., 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 what significant role did they play in history from your perspective?
Well, the main idea of having a hero, as you said earlier now, it is to be a pacifier from one side, but also we do not forget important aspect or important feature of the hero. He's a protector, he's a defender, and he's a deliverer. So these things are, I would say, basic requirements for humanity in its beginning because they cannot explain famine, they cannot explain drought, they cannot explain the wild animals that attack them. So they had to have someone or something that would be able to protect them from those unknown powers of the nature or powers of disease that might affect them and destroy their lives and take lives away. And also, even the weaker communities would need a hero to protect them from the stronger communities, the village next to them or the tribe next to them that might trade and take their cattle, their children as well as slaves. So a hero here is very important for protection, for deliverance, and also for the sense of peace. They needed peace at that time.
And
So,
I'm just sorry to cut you off, but like there is this, you know, pivotal question here. Who creates the hero? Is it the oppressed or the oppressor? Is it
well,
because it can be very useful for both actually in different ways. So who do you think created the heroes?
indeed, actually, as you said, it's beneficial for both sides. In other words, it is created based on the need for it. Same thing when they invented a gun, the gun is used to kill and used to protect. So, in other words, in the ancient Indian civilizations, or the time when there was big, strong level of rulers, what we call them now in some stories Maharajas, whatever. That's not the right thing, but however, that's what people know it, and also the common people. So the common people were suffering, and they work hard to satisfy the needs of the higher levels of the society in long time ago. So the society that is oppressed, they need someone who can promise them a better life in the future or come and deliver them this pain. The same on the other side, those higher level priests, rulers of any society at that time or community or tribe, they also needed to have the hero to give to the people to tell them that this hero is going to protect you from the unknown enemies. So in both cases, they needed the hero. The hero could be one hero to serve the both purposes, or could be several heroes or two heroes, depends on the need. So it was created by the need of this hero. So in some like the Greek mythology, it has heroes for everything. One for war, one for defense, one for weather to protect from weather, one from the sea to calm the sea down. So all these heroes are meant to give a certain purpose of their existence in the narrative at that time, of course.
And at the beginning, you pointed to a demigod. So can we have just an earthly hero, or does it have to have a connection with the heavens? It must have this divine touch, because some people would point at maybe religious figures as forms of heroes as well. Do you agree with this statement?
Yes, of course, because the demigod idea came before the human heroes or the human-like heroes. Hercules was a demigod. Horus was a demigod.
Mhm.
And other religious figures, which we will talk about it when we discuss religion effects on the hero figure later. But so many heroes were demigods in the beginning, and then by the development of knowledge and not knowledge, philosophy and thinking and stories telling, the heroes became more human. And the reason why is also to make it more close to those who need them. So we need a hero from our tribe, from us, from the common people, from the lower level of the society. So demigods always at a higher level. They live in the Mount of Olympia and they sent by Zeus to save this group of people. But once the Hercules, for example, is not ready to come to us, then we have to create a hero among us. That's when they started to take a human nature. Gilgamesh, for instance, he was not a demigod, he was a human being. Even in the Torah, it's full of people names. They are heroes, but they are 100% humans, not demigods.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's a development. It started as a demigod in ancient Egypt and in Greece, and then moved slowly to become heroes created by the humans as humans. And then before later on, there are other forms of heroes again, which we'll talk about as well later, because today we have heroes in different forms, which now is manifested in lots of the movies and even comics for children, comics for adults, all the stuff they have heroes. But this is a topic we will discuss it also later. But we want to move it slowly from back to front to future, of course, as we said. Yeah.
And how about like cataclysmic events or like natural disasters? And like very commonly, people would relate unexplained natural events or social events as being the result of like it's the wrath of a hero, not only of the god or gods, but a hero. Like and they believe even a hero who left this world is still watching from high above, and this hero can like smite the enemies of his group at any time.
Yeah.
Uh, is heroism connected to superstition as well?
It's based solely on superstition, because if you cannot define the cause of a volcano, then you have to build a story behind it, and this story should be superstitious, because there is no scientific explanation for the volcano at that time. A high tide, a storm, a tornado, these things, even a raid from another tribe came and killed most of the men of this tribe and kidnapped the women and the children. This is something they couldn't even comprehend at that time, why this is happening to us. So in that case, they need to build some kind of defense. So the defense came from a supernatural phenomena to a supernatural hero as well. For them, the volcano, the high tide, the storms were supernatural phenomena, because it's not the daily calm weather that they need every day for agriculture, for sailing. So when this happens, they relate it to the supernatural power or super mythological power. And also they looked at it, for example, as you said earlier, if this hero, the guardian of the seas, if the sea is high and very wild and they cannot sail or people could drown, because the god Poseidon, for instance, is angry because the people did not give him sacrifice, did not do something to satisfy him. They even could be related to pollution of the sea. So if somebody misused the sea, or then Poseidon is angry. So there is big storm and big
So they make
winds.
this link between heroes and deities, and they're almost one and the same, or like different
Yeah, it's
manifestations.
more interrelated, more complicated, of course. We cannot really take each one separately and put them aside. They are very interrelated
So the hero is
because,
sort of an incarnate of a god, or like an avatar of a god. Is that what you're
well,
trying
that, if you look in the Greek mythology, for instance, Zeus did not do anything by himself.
to? Mm-hmm.
Zeus was unknown. Nobody saw Zeus before. He's sitting in the Mount Olympia, but he sends all his children, who are demigods,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
do things on earth for people. So those are the heroes that people wanted to help them. For Mars, Jupiter, in
Yes.
wars. Okay, they
Yes.
are all sons and cousins, and the family tree of Zeus. Zeus never appeared in anything. Nobody saw Zeus before. But people claim in their stories that, oh, they saw Hercules, he came to save the people during the war, the Trojan War, all the stuff they had Jupiter with among them fighting. And you will
Okay.
see this again in the modern, not modern, but later on, after 1,000 years of these mythologies, you'll find people talking about heroes that appeared among them in wars to help them. And those are the mythical heroes as well. And this is common in many civilizations, and you can hear it up to date from all. They tell you, oh, my grandfather was fighting in the World War I, and he saw the saint Christopher was fighting with us against the Germans, for instance. something like that.
Yes,
I'm just
absolutely.
giving an example. But I mean, these things happens up till now that they need the hero to be among them. So, but the God himself or the Zeus or any kind of God that sent his demi sons to protect and to serve or to help are seen and are met by people. And that's why they are more close and easy to understand their nature and easy to accept them in the stories that are told about them.
Okay, now, do you think that the need for a hero is a universal need, or it depends on the nature of society and how culturally and scientifically this society is? Because every civilization in the world has a peak and a trough, like there's always rise and fall. So, do societies have the same need for heroes when they're at their peak as much as they need it when they're at the trough, or like when they fall in the abyss of, retardation and everything?
Well, heroes were required at all times during the
Mhm.
times of rising of the empires and the fall down. The rising of the empire, they need those heroes to support this rise and give it its continuity. So if they fail, this hero will come and fix things that went wrong in the rise of the civilization. Same thing, if the start of the decline of any empire or civilization, also we need the hero to prevent it or slow it down, or at least if we completely lost this empire, at least the hero will protect us from the other enemies or those who took over this empire, like the fall of the Roman Empire, and then other empires came on the surface. So the Romans needed their gods or demigods or their heroes to protect them from the other stronger empires at that time.
Mhm. Now, with the scientific revolution, with the Renaissance, with the Enlightenment, you have people like Rene Descartes, for example, cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. Like, you would no longer believe in a hero, an external hero, another hero. No, but your mind is your hero. Because do you think that depending on a hero can be really dangerous? Because you're depending on a false hope. Like, we're waiting when the deliverer comes. When will the deliverer come? Nobody knows. He can come tonight. He can come after 1,000 years. So, do you think that societies that believe in science and scientific thinking, do they still depend and rely upon on heroes or not?
That's very sensitive matter because it goes back to their ideology and belief, and if we typically say the religious belief, in
Mm.
religious beliefs, most of them uh, people still need a hero or a deliverer or the superpower that will give them eternity. Although these ideas are, according to the scientists and the intellects and the philosophers, is very, very old and not only old, it's not realistic and it's all mythical and fiction. However, among the scientific societies or the modern societies, you will find some people who are still waiting for a hero because that's what their ancestors promised them, and they believed in their ancestors, and they are carrying on the belief until now, and they are protecting it as well. Why they are protecting it, again, that's a completely different topic. We'll talk about it later, maybe in the other episode if we meet again about the topic, because we have now to link all the historical and contemporary heroes with the religions that are contemporary now, the current religions that the world know it by heart. So again, yes, it is very connected, and heroes from the past are still living among us till now.
And do you think that people reflect their subconscious like desires and dreams they projected on a hero? Like, they would like I would dream that I'm doing this and this and that. Like I'm dreaming that I'm fighting with the oppressor, that I'm killing the oppressor, but I can't do it. I just see it in my dreams. So when I'm awake, when I'm like vigilant, I would sometimes take short breaks of daydreaming of a hero to come. Do you think that hero is an avatar of our dreams and hopes?
I'll tell you something, you'll be surprised. In my childhood, I started to read the comics of Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all these comics. And it was something that very interesting for us when we were before the teenager thing. And by reading those things, even other local novels about heroes, kids' heroes as well. In where we grew up, we had lots of those stories about children who are acting as detectives and trying to solve crimes as well. So when I was a kid, I used to have those daydreams and believe that I am one of them, or I'm joining them, or part of them, or even among friends, we discussed it. And this question, we said it to us many times. Which one of the comics you want to be? Somebody chose Batman, somebody chose Spider-Man, and everybody chose one of those avatars to be personified in him. And that's what the power we needed, we wanted at that time. So it did, yes, in the modern life, yes, we had this daydreams about the heroes. And I believe some people who are very religious, they have those heroes in their life still existing. And they see apparitions and they can uh, tell you that they have seen the saint or they have met this prophet in their dreams or their even daydreams, and they can be very convinced about it. And they, if you suspect it, they will be very angry at you because the strengths of the story and how deep it is rooted in the culture and the history of the belief is is overpowering the logic and the science nowadays.
Do you think in the future there will be a day when we are able to live without heroes? If yes, why yes? If no, why not?
Okay, I, it's yes and no, because for yes, first of all, yes, among again among many cultures and many ideologies, the idea of the hero still exists, and it is it's flourishing every day. People are waiting for the Messiah. So the story is there. It's living. It's a living example of a mythology, and it will last until the end of humanity or until something that would tell them really there is no Messiah coming, carry on with your life, which would never happen, by the way. On the other side, no, of course not, because now, as we people like intellectual people, thinkers, logical people, scientific people, people without a certain dominant ideology in their conscience, those group of people, they don't need a hero. They don't believe in it. They don't need it. And the hero in their life vanished long time ago.
People without a
Philosophies.
dogma. People without a dogma, you think, like people who are sort of intellectual, skeptic, like they're cynical, like they would not take anything for granted until they put it to the test.
Yes, among those, yes.
Mhm.
Among skeptical, agnostics, atheists, many philosophers, of course, especially the philosophers who are skeptical, and above skepticism, we go to higher levels of doubt, even to the level of atheism. Those people do not accept heroes anymore because, as you said, you have to bring this hero to a test or to prove it by reality, at least a vision, at least something concrete that they did or they have done in the modern life to believe in it. So the idea of a hero was removed completely from their minds long time ago, and that started with the philosophers that we talked about before in our meetings, before our episodes. Nietzsche
Absolutely.
was one of the best who wrote about this, I think, and Descartes.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like an endless saga, really. Waiting
Yes,
hero after another back to back. And man, definitely, like this is a very long topic that we cannot really sort of cram in one episode.
oh,
So,
absolutely, yes. I
um,
have so many things to tell you about it, and I know that we might not have all the time for it today, but yes,
absolutely.
there's so many things about this subtopic because it's interesting. For me, it's something I can see it as I'm watching a movie, a fantasy movie, and sometimes we like the fantasy movie because it takes us away from the reality of the cruel life,
Mhm.
We watch a movie of those fantasy characters and those superheroes and we enjoy it because it's an hour and a half takes away from the
The
pressure of
daily
life.
grind. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes.
So I ask you to kindly be my guest for a second or maybe a third episode discussing this topic because there are many different aspects that we really need to tackle.
It is
So
always my pleasure.
pleasure is all mine, Imad. So at the end of part one, I really need to thank you very much for being with me and with our dear viewers today, and really looking forward to seeing you next episode. Thank you very much, Imad. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad, and thanks for all the viewers and your followers. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you. And dear viewers, if we were to come to a conclusion here, when you look out for a hero or look up to a hero, you need to ask yourself why. Why? And actually, heroes are dictators' best friends. They are the soulmates of oppressors. Because, like if we act as a group, if we are oppressed, and if we act as a group, no dictator and no oppressor, no matter how strong he is, can ever face the united people. Never, ever. But unfortunately, instead of uniting ourselves, no, we wait to fight the one oppressor with one hero. And we'll wait and wait and wait and wait. Well, if we act together, we can simply crush the oppressor in no time. It's a way we procrastinate, we hide from our weaknesses, we hide from our fear. Maybe if we wake up and become more sober, we become more vigilant, and really look around and study history, there's no other deliverer than yourself. The only one who will deliver you is yourself. Look at history, look at all the big changes that happened in the world was because of the people believing in it. If people did not believe in it, it'll just stay there in the books. Will be a folkloric story, but nothing will come out of it. It will amount to nothing. We need to have a collective mind, a mind that is on the ground and not over the clouds. Dear viewers, until we meet again, I hope you have a very pleasant time. Thank you very much for watching.